What's quite hilarious that they gave everyone a heads up they were going to do it, but I guess that's like playing the lotto. Like, what are the chances that you're going to be the person that they put the camera on? Well, bad luck for the CEO.
This requires, to me, not one, but 2 resignations.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
53 million views later, it's hard to believe this all started with a concert. Not a headline, not a leak, not a carefully planted rumor, just a regular Saturday night at Gillette Stadium where thousands of Coldplay fans were dancing, singing, and completely unaware they were about to witness the start of a corporate implosion. The kiss cam was rolling. The band was mid-set, and in just 15 seconds, a flicker of nervous body language, a failed attempt to duck the camera, and a throwaway joke from Chris Martin, 2 people went from respected professionals to the center of one of the most humiliating public scandals of the year.
Because he just gets caught. Let's just show that moment really quickly here.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
The moment would have been forgotten by morning, but it wasn't because someone captured it and posted it. And once that video hit TikTok, the internet didn't just react, it exploded. Candace Owens, who's never been one to hold back, was among the first to comment on the chaos, and she didn't mince words. Karma is hitting differently this year, she told her audience, but for them, it hit like a truck. According to Owens, the viral clip, which shows tech CEO Andy Byron sitting shoulder to shoulder with HR director Kristen Cabot, neither of whom were married to each other, was more than just an awkward moment. It was, in her words, exactly what he deserved. She called it a cosmic gut punch, the kind of public reckoning that only happens when arrogance meets bad timing.
Something that I want to just say, everything is hitting, karma is hitting differently this year, but for me, it's always been the case. One of the things people that are friends with me know, or my family knows, is that I constantly just tell the truth, and sometimes it makes people very uncomfortable.
But she also drew a hard line, telling fans to leave the families out of it. The memes are hilarious, she said, but let's not hunt down their kids. They didn't ask for this. That balance, laughter and judgment, mixed with a demand for boundaries, is what made her take go viral all over again. What really stunned people wasn't just the clip itself, but what it revealed. As multiple insiders later confirmed, Byron and Cabot weren't just co-workers. They were married to other people with children. One anonymous staffer at their company claims the tension had been building for months, with whispered suspicions of a workplace romance that no one dared say aloud. Then, Coldplay's jumbotron did what HR wouldn't. It exposed everything. According to reports, both Byron and Cabot froze when the camera hit them, knowing exactly how it looked. But what made it worse, and what gave it viral fuel, was the timing of Chris Martin's now infamous line, either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. Cue the crowd laughter, cue the digital firestorm, and cue a PR nightmare no billion-dollar tech company could ever fully prepare for.
I always just tell the truth because I know that my karma hits. That is, well, you can't even imagine the karma of those two, the affair that they are having. And then we learn, of course, that both of them are married with children.
Candace Owens didn't just react. She reframed the entire moment as a warning shot to anyone playing games behind closed doors. This is not the year to be messing around, she said, emphasizing that in 2025, karma doesn't wait years. It takes 10 minutes. And for Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot, it showed up in 4K on a stadium jumbotron. As the internet dissected the video, Owens made a point that echoed across conservative and liberal audiences alike. They weren't just caught cheating, they were caught being sloppy. He really thought he was going to sneak off and not get caught, she said, shaking her head. You're a billionaire at a Coldplay concert in a stadium full of smartphones, and you sit next to your HR director like that? Her audience roared with laughter. But behind the punchlines was a deeper critique. People like Byron, she argued, walk through life with a sense of immunity until the camera turns on them. Behind the scenes, things were unraveling fast. Company insiders say employees recognized the pair instantly. There wasn't even a debate, one source told us. Everyone in our Slack channel knew it was them, down to the seats. And when Kristen Cabot's own assistant allegedly gasped during a Monday call, it confirmed what leadership had hoped to deny.
And he just sneaks off and thinks he's not going to get caught, and then bam, Coldplay puts him on the jumbotron. Terrifying. Like, it is so mortifying and so exactly what he deserved that you just go, wow.
Sources say the internal panic wasn't just about the affair. It was about optics, power, and liability. Byron was CEO. Cabot was head of HR. According to multiple reports, that meant legal exposure, compliance issues, and a wave of possible resignations if trust in leadership collapsed. One insider claimed the company's board immediately sought outside counsel, concerned about workplace policy violations. This wasn't just messy, the source said. This was actionable. And still, as the firestorm spread, Andy and Kristen, according to sources, acted like nothing happened. They returned to work, smiled through meetings, and allegedly hoped it would all blow over. But TikTok had other plans. Candace Owens, always quick to identify a culture shift, pointed out how quickly the scandal turned into a trend.
I mean, truly, you guys, this is not the year to be effing around. People are really finding out quickly when they are effing around. And what's really something that I do want to comment on that I think is really wrong, the memes are hilarious, we're going to get to them, is that I think it's going a little too far for the publications that are hunting down the children. I saw like the Daily Mail, the New York Post were posting photos of the children. Like, this is a really bad time for their kids.
Now people are mimicking it at baseball games. It's a full-blown meme template, she said. But that's the thing about viral humiliation. You don't get to decide when it ends. As if to prove her point, Philly's mascots recreated the infamous jumbotron moment, complete with exaggerated, awkward glances and fake shy body language. It wasn't just gossip anymore. It was cultural shorthand for corporate cheating. And as Owens put it bluntly, this is the new walk of shame. It's not lipstick on your collar. It's your face in a meme with 40 million views. As the memes spread and the video reached tens of millions of views, what was once just an awkward jumbotron moment quickly morphed into something more serious. Multiple sources confirmed what many suspected. Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot were not only married to other people, but both had young children. According to insiders, Cabot's husband is from one of New England's oldest families, while Byron's wife had been involved in philanthropic work tied to the same tech company he led. Word is, neither spouse had any idea what was coming.
Like, yes, we can laugh at him, we can laugh at this woman that's also involved, but we should not at all be trying to publish and find out information about their kids and like their respective wives and husbands who had absolutely nothing to do with this and are probably going through a lot of humiliation because of the actions of their parents. So let's not do that, please. Just asking the internet to like respect that they need some privacy.
It wasn't just a betrayal. It was public humiliation on a global scale. One source close to the family said, "Imagine finding out your partner's cheating from TikTok." Candace Owens called it a masterclass in self-destruction and emphasized that the real tragedy wasn't the scandal. It was how carelessly it was detonated. Then came the corporate chaos. Reports suggest that shortly after the video went viral, Byron held a private meeting with his legal team and board of directors. Sources claim he expressed concern not just about reputational damage, but about potential lawsuits from shareholders, from employees, and even from his own executive team. Cabot, meanwhile, reportedly went silent. Insiders say she stopped showing up to meetings and took personal leave just days after the video broke. One HR staffer allegedly found out through the news. "No one even told us she was gone," the employee said. "She just vanished."
But I have to show you this because now it's a trend and people that are getting caught on jumbotrons at games are mimicking what happened here. So this is, I think, from the baseball team, the Phillies. The mascots mocked the moment. Take a listen, or take a watch rather. This is great. That is some way to go out, man.
But the company couldn't stay quiet. Shareholders were furious. PR firms were brought in. According to reports, a multi-million-dollar internal investigation was launched to assess whether Byron or Cabot violated any ethics policies or workplace relationship disclosure rules, and if so, what the consequences would be. And just when you thought the story couldn't get more surreal, Owens revealed something else. The woman who filmed the infamous video, 28-year-old Grace Springer, was reportedly contacted by Andy Byron's lawyers. "They tried to intimidate her," Owens said. "Can you imagine? You get a funny video at a concert, it goes viral, and the next thing you know, you're getting emails from billion-dollar lawyers trying to silence you." While sources close to Byron haven't confirmed legal action, industry insiders claim Coldplay's team refused to remove or retract anything. In fact, Chris Martin allegedly told backstage staff the moment wasn't scripted and wasn't our responsibility.
And there have been obviously so many memes about it. Here's one. They don't stop. Here's another one. People are just my first affair. Here's a Lego edition. And here's my favorite one. This is my favorite one. Look, it's BB and Trump caught on the Jumbotron having an affair on America. Aw, poor America. Oh, family's gonna have to break up.
Owens made it clear where she stood. You don't get to control the narrative after the mic's already hot, she said. And if you're bold enough to sneak around in public, don't cry when the public notices. By this point, the story had jumped from music blogs to mainstream media. The Daily Mail, Page 6, even Forbes had picked it up. But it wasn't just celebrity gossip anymore. It was a case study in how quickly a digital world can destroy analog secrets. And sources say the next phase of fallout was already underway. As the media storm intensified, insiders say Andy Byron's carefully curated world collapsed in record time. One board member reportedly described the situation as a credibility crisis wrapped in a PR disaster. According to multiple sources, Byron's wife moved out of their home within 48 hours of the video going viral, and retained a divorce attorney with experience in high-profile tech cases. Insiders claim she was blindsided, not just by the cheating, but by the sheer publicness of it. Kristen Cabot's situation wasn't any better. Sources say her husband, Andrew Cabot, heir to one of the oldest families in the region, had already been under immense pressure from his family due to Kristen's rise in a male-dominated tech world. The scandal, according to reports, was the final straw. They were done the moment that jumbotron lit up, one family friend said. It wasn't just betrayal, it was a spectacle. Back at the company, the knives were out. Candace Owens said what many insiders wouldn't dare say aloud. This isn't just about an affair, this is about power, control, and hypocrisy. According to reports, a group of employees began organizing internally, demanding transparency and accountability. Some even threatened to leak internal communications unless the board addressed the issue publicly. And then came the bombshell. A leaked email, allegedly written by Kristen Cabot herself, surfaced on Reddit. The email, which sources say was sent just weeks before the Coldplay concert, referenced maintaining discretion in leadership optics and safeguarding reputational integrity. Candace didn't hold back. You're giving HR seminars about integrity while allegedly hooking up with your boss at concerts? That's wild, she said. It's corporate Hunger Games out here. Meanwhile, Coldplay, once seen as an innocent bystander, found themselves subtly pulled into the drama. According to sources close to the band, Chris Martin was approached by Byron's lawyers behind the scenes. Word is, they asked for a quiet retraction, maybe even an apology. But sources say Martin refused, allegedly telling them, "We don't censor real moments. We play music. We don't do damage control." Owens praised the band for not backing down, saying, "Chris Martin didn't expose anything. That camera didn't fabricate a thing. The only people who created this mess were the people on that screen." The most surreal twist came just days later, when fake merchandise began popping up online. T-shirts, phone cases, even mugs, all printed with the now iconic phrase, "Either they're having an affair, or they're just very shy." According to reports, some sellers made thousands before the listings were taken down. And as Owens noted, that's how you know it hit. When your scandal turns into Etsy merch, it's officially entered cultural history. But behind the jokes and internet fame, sources say both families were still reeling, and the company was teetering on collapse. Because while the internet was laughing, lawyers, shareholders, and abandoned spouses were just getting started. By the end of the week, the dust hadn't settled. It had only begun to swirl. According to sources, Andy Byron submitted a formal leave of absence from his role as CEO, citing ongoing personal matters. But insiders claim that was corporate code for "we pushed him out." Kristen Cabot, meanwhile, quietly resigned just 2 days later. There was no farewell email, no public statement, just a line in a press release about internal restructuring. Sources say she cleaned out her office late at night to avoid attention. Candace Owens was quick to point out the irony. These were two people at the top of their game, and they blew it all up. For a moment, she said, a moment that now lives in GIFs, memes, and headlines their kids will be able to Google forever. According to legal analysts, both Byron and Cabot could still face internal audits and contract disputes, depending on whether their relationship violated corporate codes. And multiple sources say the company is now facing a quiet investor exodus behind the scenes. But what struck a nerve with Owens, and with many of her viewers, was how quickly the internet turned the scandal into entertainment. "It's funny, yes," she admitted, "but let's not forget, there are real families here, real kids." She criticized outlets like the New York Post and Daily Mail for publishing photos of the children, calling it crossing a line that should never be crossed. Her audience agreed, flooding the comments with messages of support for the spouses and kids caught in the crossfire. That moment of reflection added depth to what could have just been another viral saga. Because beyond the spectacle, Beyond the memes and Coldplay punchlines, this was about something deeper: the illusion of privacy in an always-on, always-watching world. As Owens said plainly, if you're not prepared to be exposed, maybe don't do things worth exposing, especially not in a stadium full of people with camera phones. And yet, the ripple effects are still playing out. Reports suggest the company is now implementing stricter codes of conduct and reworking their HR policies from the ground up. Some say it's too little, too late. Others argue this scandal will become a case study for corporate crisis management for years to come. One PR expert put it best: they built a billion-dollar brand on trust and lost it in 13 seconds on a jumbotron. As for Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot, sources say both have gone dark on social media, avoiding public appearances and likely bracing for the legal and personal consequences still ahead. The internet, of course, has moved on to the next trending drama. But inside boardrooms, households, and divorce attorney offices, this scandal is far from over. So here's the question Candace left her audience with, and now we'll ask you too. In a world where every moment can become content, who really owns the narrative? The people living it or the ones filming it?